Hello, everybody. We are talking about the Colorado River and how it will be shared moving forward beyond 2026. It's something the Colorado River Basin states have been talking about for a few years now, and those operating guidelines are going to change here coming up in October. My name's Adam Klepp. I'm a reporter here with ABC 15 Arizona. I'm with Sarah Porter, who's the director for the Kyl Center for Water Policy at Arizona State. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. It's nice to be with you, Adam.
So let's start from 30,000 feet up. What has been happening over the last few years in terms of the Colorado River Basin states negotiating how to share the Colorado River and what's coming up this year?
Well, we're in a mega drought and we haven't really received much relief from Mother Nature. We're continuing to be in this very long term drought. And so, really, since the early 2000s, it has been recognized by the 7 states that share Colorado River water that we need to have measures in place to keep the big reservoirs on the Colorado system. That would be Lake Powell and Lake Mead, to keep them from hitting catastrophic low levels. So over the years, the 7 states have agreed to measures to manage this big drought we're having. And the measures that we've implemented are expiring. And so it's important that we come up with new guidelines to get, to continue. Probably we need to permanently adjust to taking less water out of the Colorado River. And I think it's that reality that is making these negotiations especially hard.
Yeah, the negotiations have been hard. The states haven't been able to come up with an agreement.
Right.
The federal government recently released a couple of different plans. They may choose from a variety of different points within those plans to ultimately make the decision on how the river's managed. But what's the latest update here
Yeah.
in terms of what the federal government just did?
So the federal government released a draft environmental impact statement, and it actually looks at 4 different proposals for how to cut deliveries to some users and manage the reservoirs. And then it also looks at what if we didn't do anything, the no action alternative. And then the federal government, or sort of in keeping with that, the feds said, and by Valentine's Day, a perfect, statehood day for Arizona, you 7 states need to come to an agreement.
So there's a lot that we still don't know, but one of the things that you were telling me is we're pretty sure Arizona's going to get less water moving forward.
Right. Arizona has already taken significant cuts to Colorado River deliveries, and we have expected that we would continue. We would have more cuts in the future. There's really no way to get to a place where the reservoirs are stable without additional cuts. The reason Arizona takes the cuts is that the users of Colorado River water in central Arizona, that would be Maricopa, Pinal, and Pima counties, Phoenix to Tucson, essentially agreed to be junior, to take the first cuts way back in the 1960s when we needed federal financing to pay for the Central Arizona Project Canal, which brings all that water from Lake Havasu City, the western part of the state, across the state to Phoenix to Tucson.
So there's 80% of the state's population that benefits
Right.
in some way from getting Colorado River water. It's not our only source of water, right? But I think when people start to hear words like mega drought, more water cuts, the ultimate fear is I'm going to turn on my tap at home and nothing's going to come out. What is your message to Arizonans about our water security? Is it at risk, or will we find ways to get through this?
We are going to have less Colorado River water, chances are. That doesn't mean none, but it means less. Uh, but as far as people living in cities and getting their water from a water provider, either a city or from a private water company, they shouldn't expect that we're going to run out of water. We're not. Probably water rates will go up because water providers need to take measures to make sure of serving alternative supplies to taps.
Well, let's hit on that a little bit. By water rates, you
Yeah,
mean the water bill that comes in the mail every
the
month. I
water
think
bill.
that's something that for people, okay, my water's probably going to get more expensive. I live in the desert. There's less water. When there's less of something, basic economics, scarcity, the price goes up. So what can people expect? I mean, we're
Yeah.
seeing water users in Gilbert that are very concerned about the rate at which their water bills are increasing. And the city is saying, look, we get 41% of our water from the Colorado River. We're looking for other ways. what would you just say people in terms of preparing for that?
Well, first of all, look at your cell phone bill and see how much your water bill, how much of that would be, how much your water bill would cover your cell phone bill. Water, I think we forget about, all the benefits we get from water. It's amazing that we get clean, safe water delivered to our taps. It's incredible. But second, I would take a look at any proposed rate increase and see, is this to keep our system resilient? Is this to make sure that we can have the kind of growth that we want in our community? Most of these rate increases are very difficult decisions particularly when it's going to a town council or a city council. And so you work with your community, examine that bill, but if it looks like it is helping your city stay water resilient, then consider supporting a rate increase. I think it's pretty unusual for elected officials to get a call or an email from a constituent saying, "Yeah, I'm good with the rate increase." I would also say we can help our water provider by reducing our water use. When we reduce our water use, and I mean permanently, I don't mean, for a day or two, then the water provider can do more with less. They can stretch the supplies they have to meet all their demand. We cannot, as a region, conserve our way out of this problem through municipal conservation. Cities use roughly somewhere around 24, cities and industry use about 24% of the Colorado River water that humans use. The rest is used by agriculture. And so cities don't use enough Colorado River water for the conservation that cities can do to make the difference in the system. We still should conserve. It helps your city a lot when you do, but the answer here is not, simply conservation. That's part of the answer.
So, Sarah, 2026 is a huge year for how this water is shared moving forward. Can you just walk us through what the timeline is over the next few months?
Well, we're already way past the deadlines that everybody would have preferred, but there is still a possibility, a tiny glimmer of hope, that the 7 states can come to an agreement on what to do. And we can quickly kind of cut and paste from that draft environmental impact statement to finalize a federal environmental impact statement and get a new plan in place. And so what we're really talking about is a deadline of October 2026 when the states and the federal government need their plan for how water will be delivered the following year to be finalized. If there isn't an agreement, and we keep pushing back the deadline, if there isn't an agreement, there is a very, I would say, stronger and stronger possibility of litigation. And I think we may need to kind of get comfortable with the idea that sometimes negotiations simply won't work, and sometimes you need to resort to other forums. And in this case, there's a good possibility that the states will go to court over what to do around the Colorado River. It doesn't mean we won't keep getting Colorado River water.
And it would likely be a lot of the lower basin states maybe making those moves because in at least the draft EIS and a lot of the conversations, they're the most vulnerable to these cuts.
Yes, and it's also because for some reason, the upper basin states, and we should say that's Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming, they have refused to take cuts. So up to now, for the last 20 years or so, all the cuts, the first official cuts were in 2022, but the first agreement to take cuts was in 2007. All of the cuts have fallen on the lower basin, almost the lion's share on Arizona. And for various reasons, our upper basin Colorado states will not agree to take additional cuts. And much of the impasse in the negotiations is around the refusal of the upper basin to participate in taking cuts.
Do you think the release of this draft statement from the government could push the upper basin to want to come to the negotiating table a little bit more than they have?
It possibly could. It's very hard to say because this fight has been going on for so long and nothing else has prompted them. Some people think that this draft environmental impact statement is biased in favor of the upper basin. I think that's it's a defensible reading. I would say that it it's also that the draft EIS could provide some clarity that could help the states come together on other proposals.
The CAP has a priority system for cuts. And there's already been, for example, farmers in Pinal County who have accepted subsidies as well for taking those cuts, but there already have been cuts because of the tier one shortage that Arizona has had to take water cuts. Is there a way to know who would take the next cuts if there are deeper ones?
Yes, we have a pretty good idea of how the cuts would impact different water providers and different water users. We really have quite a bit of clarity. My own organization, the Kyl Center, has a website called the Arizona Water Blueprint where we have a tool that you can go to and you can see how each and every city or tribe would be impacted by cuts. The It's not so much how the cuts would impact the water provider when we're especially talking about cities. It's the extent to which that water provider needs that water to reach people's taps. So there are some cities where 2/3 of the water they deliver is Colorado River water. A city like Phoenix, it's more like 1/3 of the water. Phoenix may deliver more Colorado River water to taps volumetrically, but it isn't as big a part of the portfolio. So how these cuts will impact cities differ from city to city, but cities have had years to prepare for this. They have implemented measures to be ready, and the state is making a very strong case that even if there are additional deep cuts, we still need to make sure that sufficient water is delivered via the CAP to reach surface water treatment plants that rely on Colorado River
What was that
water.
resource again?
It's the Arizona Water Blueprint. We have Colorado River tools that talk about how shortage will impact particularly central Arizona.
What do you think the impact is for Arizona getting its water to the important industries that have recently set up here in the valley? So much was made about bringing chip production to the United States during COVID. We now have that at TSMC in North Phoenix. Think about the military installations that are here in Arizona. That's something you hear a lot, that Arizona getting its water also means security for the country. Is that something that you agree
I
with?
think that's a valid argument. The extent to which those considerations trump the priority system, which is really deeply ingrained in water law in the American West, is another question. But that might be a strong argument from just like moral persuasion. And it's true. There are measures in place to make sure that TSMC gets the water it needs to produce chips and to make sure that the military gets the water it needs to keep their bases operational. But that, at some point, we need to take those things into consideration.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time with us, Sarah, today. You mentioned a little bit about people maybe taking a little more personal responsibility over their water usage at home, but just in this big year that you walked us through this timeline of 2026 and how we share the river is changing this year in October. What are just some of the things that you think Arizonans should be paying attention to as this develops?
I really, I think people should understand that from the governor to the legislature, there are people who are working together to to fight for Arizona, to push Arizona's position. But at the same time, the other state, everybody relies on this water. So it's not us versus them. It really is, there's a strong need for us to come to some kind of collective agreement. Moving forward in the future, over time, we are going to have to figure out alternative sources of supply and make investments to support those. So, Arizona's really good at solving this problem. There's no state that does better than Arizona at solving the water scarcity problem. We're just at a moment where we need to come together, be supportive of investments, and be creative and innovative.
Sarah, again, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us, Director at the Kyl Center for Water Policy at Arizona State University. As this continues, the negotiations continue as things develop in water. We're going to continue to follow it here on abc15.com. You can also see all of our previous coverage stories from Lake Mead farms here in Arizona, all on abc15.com as well.